It's going to be all about it's math. It's all about PPC, all about making more money. As you can see on the screen, we got one of the ninjas, the masters of PPC. Mina is here, and he's going to be sharing some hidden metrics. I mean, he's got some stuff that you probably don't know about, some Amazon analytics type of stuff, and some hidden metrics so that you're going to be able to force your way to the top. He's on a tight schedule, so he's got a 40-minute presentation, so he's going to show you some really cool stuff. And then he's going to hop over to the sessions for about 10 minutes or so, and he's got to run to another important meeting that he's got, and then he's going to come back. So if you go over to the sessions with Q&A, and he'll be in there just briefly, and he's got to do another commitment because we're behind schedule, and then he'll be back in about an hour to do some more Q&A. So Mina, I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Welcome, man. Glad you're here.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to speak here at BDSS. I have, some very high standards here. The presentations have been amazing. So I'll jump right into it. My talk today is called PPC Magimatics because it's a little bit of magic, a little bit of math. I'll talk about my story in a second, but I come from a very engineering heavy background. I was top of my class as a chemical engineer. So I'm really deep into the numbers, and from everyone that I've talked to, every single brand owner doing, 10K a month to $1 million a month, $2 million a month, every agency, most people are not looking, at their Amazon analytics in a 360-degree view. So I'm going to cover a lot of the metrics that I look at, and it really helps me very quickly identify what's going on with everything in the business. So what we're going to talk about today is the paid conversion equation, diagnosing the causes. So what's causing what to happen, when spend goes up, spend goes down, that kind of stuff. Pulling levers in PPC. So what are the levers available to us that we can pull, and then, how to pull them. A systematic approach to organic ranking. So how we can systematically improve our organic ranking through PPC. I know search find buy is, against terms of service. Some people are still doing it. It's up to you, but this is a non-search find buy method. And then the full picture of traffic and conversion. So understanding traffic and conversions and being able to look at it in one view and understand everything, right? So it's not just PPC. If you go look at the campaign manager, you're gonna, not gonna show you anything. And then some situational analysis. So not just, hey, here's a bunch of numbers. Like these are a few cases and what happened in each of those cases. So at the beginning of the talk, this is basically, the caveman trying to heat up his cave is like how most people are doing their PPC, right? But we can get it dialed down to a science. So hopefully by the end of this talk, you are going to have a way, like a Nest thermostat, right? Of exactly setting the right temperature. So yeah, like I was saying, became an MMA fighter, then started a supplement brand to help my performance. So I created a supplement brand, used my background in chemical engineering and chemistry, used my, passion for supplements, ended up, really good at advertising. I started sharing a lot of information, helping people out. I want to see people succeed. And then built an Amazon advertising agency. So essentially, like a marketing partner where we come in and help you with your ads. Our team joins your team. We run everything, under your, use our efficiency and our systems and our expertise. So let's break down the equation. So we have cost of traffic plus conversion plus unique clicks equals profit. And obviously, this is not like an exact equation, right? It's just kind of, I'm saying it's an equation. But if we break things down, right, the cost of traffic is how much it costs you to bring one person into your listing. So let's say you are spending $1 to get one session, and you have a 20% conversion rate. So every 5 people who come into your listing will convert. And each person costs $1. That's $5 for a conversion. And then if you have like a $10 in profit before advertising per unit, that's $5 net profit per unit sold. And the reason I include the unique clicks in there is because, and we'll talk about this in a second, is because sometimes you can have multiple clicks per session. And so you can have one person who's viewing different ads, and we'll cover this. They're looking at your video, they're clicking on it, they're looking at the headline search, they're clicking on it. Or maybe you're advertising for a lot of broad keywords at the top of the search. And so they're typing in, popcorn bowl, and then, white popcorn bowl for 2 people, some stuff like that. and they're just clicking. And so you end up, for one person, instead of spending $1, spending $3. And so if we did that for the 5 people, instead of spending $5 per conversion, we're now spending $15 per conversion, which is not profitable anymore, since we only have $10 in profit per unit. So that's how the equation is kind of made up of. The 3 main influencing factors here: the PPC spend, so the cost of acquiring traffic, and everyone does this. All businesses all over the world, any industry, are paying money to acquire customers. And so if you think about it, like if you're in a retail store, the brands are paying the retail store like a display in the front, so people can come in and people can see it, and then say, oh, okay, I like this. A certain number of them are going to buy it. And so that's how they're acquiring traffic. Other people, maybe they're putting the menus under your door. They're paying money for that. And then a certain number of people who get those menus will be like, you know what, I'm in the mood for pizza. And so, and all businesses are doing that one way or the other. On Amazon, we have Amazon PPC. And so we're essentially showing up our ads in front of everyone where they search, or maybe where, they clicked on a product and, they scroll down, they see your product, and we're hoping that they'll click, we'll acquire, we'll buy that traffic that way, and then we'll convert it into a sale. The second metric is the click to session ratio. So that's how efficient your traffic is. The best click to session ratio is 1-to-1, right? And this is, there is some wonky stuff happening with the sessions where Amazon says that we only count organic and not traffic or something. So there's something happening there, but generally, we want, for every one person who clicks our ad, it's a unique session. So if we get 100 clicks, we want 100 different sessions, because that means we're spending the least amount of money for those sessions, except for the final thing, which is organic ranking. And so the click to session ratio is important, because if you start noticing that your click to session ratio is getting worse, and for the same number of sessions you're getting more clicks, that just means that you're not being efficient with your ads. Maybe you're showing up multiple placements where you shouldn't be, or you're showing up on the top of the search maybe too many times where it's the same people who are clicking. Some businesses want to do that. Some businesses just want market share and they want visibility and they want impressions. And then others, like smaller brands, or not even smaller, but brands that need more efficiency, they need every dollar to count. So the final is organic rank, and that's no cost traffic, where it's you're not spending any money for the organic traffic. And we know that search, find, buy is kind of gone now, or against terms of service. Some people are using it, other people are not. But if we're sticking to Amazon's terms of service, the only way we can start influencing organic ranking is through PPC. The way organic ranking works, as far as we know, right, anecdotally, is the more you're converting for a keyword, the higher your organic rank is going to be. And so the higher organic rank is, it's going to get a certain number of organic visits, and then or organic impressions, and then there's going to be a certain number of organic clicks, and it costs us nothing. So if we were spending $100, and making $300 in sales through ads, if we spent $100, made $300 in sales, but then organically we were making another $300 in sales, now our efficiency is a lot better, because we're spending $100, making $600 total. And the way that we're going to get to that is to increase our organic ranks on different keyword, and I'll break down the step-by-step on how to do that. So let me do a live demonstration of the equation here. So this is like the equation I use, and I can share this with everyone. But this is, first of all, before kind of saying, okay, is the PPC working? Is it not working? And I do this because I audit people all the time, and I say, yeah, we can't help you, or yeah, we can help you. And so let's say that we're spending $1,000 on PPC, and we're getting 600 sessions. The cost of per session is, we're spending $1.67, is the equation's right there, to get each session. And now let's say that we have a normal conversion rate. Let's say it's a 35% conversion rate. So we have a 35% conversion rate. Okay, let's it's 33.94, whatever. I think the equation is not made for percentages, but let's say it's 33.94, approximately 34%. So we need 2.95 sessions for every conversion. So if we're on the math, right, 1.67, which is the cost for each session, times 2.95, which is the number of sessions we need for one conversion, gives us 4.91. This is our cost per acquisition. Now, before we look at anything, okay, what's our sale price? It's $28. Our Amazon fees is this. Our cost of goods is 6.75. We're left with 12.49 dollars profit per unit before ads. Our cost for a conversion is $4.91. So we're left with 7.58. Now, you can do this to figure out exactly what your net profit is per unit, and you can identify which metrics really need attention. So do you need more sessions? So are you spending $1,000 and you need more sessions? So if this was 800, will now the numbers make sense, right? Or is your is your spend per session too high? So are you spending $3,000 to get the same 700, right? And in that case, okay, maybe your cost per session is really high, and that's the problem. Right now, our net profit per unit is negative 0.14, right? So I can look and I can say, okay, right now I'm spending $3,000 getting 700 sessions. What if I spend $2,000? Okay, which is I'm cutting my PPC by $1,000 or 33.3%. Now we're at $4. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Or is it my conversion rate, right? So what if I bring my conversion rate up to 45%? Okay, that makes it a little bit better. So now you're able to understand, is it your traffic, or is it the cost per traffic, or is it the conversion, the cost per conversion? What is like the issue here? Is it your conversion rate? And this is like the kind of the equation to show it. So you can plug in your own numbers and you can understand, okay, if I spend $2,000, I'm getting 700 sessions. My cost per session, per visitor coming into the listings, whatever it is, my conversion rate is a certain number. What's my cost per acquisition? And then you can, start figuring out, are the numbers going to work? If the numbers are not going to work, where it's like, okay, you're spending, $2,000, and for this to work, you need to have 1,500 sessions. You're like, okay, by some miracle, you need to double the number of sessions you have with the same spend. Is probably not going to work. The way to do this is to get more organic sessions, right? And so maybe you need to invest in your organic ranking. You take a look, and I'll show you how. You can take a look at the organic ranking and say, okay, these are a bunch of keywords that I can rank, better organically for. Let's spend some money on them, rank organically. Now, for the same PPC spend, once I'm back to $2,000, I'm getting those, 1,500 sessions as opposed to only 700. So that's one way to go about it. If your conversion rate is at 15%, and you're like, okay, at 15%, it's not really working out. Can I improve my listing? Images, whatever, and then get to 25%. Okay, 25%, the numbers make sense now. I'm making $7 net. Okay, that kind of makes sense. And so this is going to help you identify what's the issue, and it's going to do it in a mathematical way, because all the numbers are there, and it's going to be one or the other. It's going to be, are you spending too much per session? What are the ways you can combat that? Should you be more efficient with your ad spend? And you can always kind of say, okay, let me look at everything that has a 4x ROAS or higher. And you can look at your campaigns. What's my spend on that? What's my sales? And then you can say, okay, what if we just did that? What if that $2,000, $2,000 in spend got a 4x ROAS? Will that make sense? And then you know that you have to get to that number by improving your PPC. So let's keep going. So what are the levers that you can pull in PPC? There's bid optimization, bid by placement, negative search terms, new profitable search terms, sponsored brand display, and video. And I'll cover each one. Bid optimization is essentially you're going to optimize the bids. There's two things you can do. Number one, if you lower the bids for things that are not profitable or spending money and not making enough sales or not making any sales, that will lower your spend, and that will make your cost per session go up or go down. And you can also increase the amount of money you're spending on keywords that are winning, which you might be on maybe page 2, show up in page 1, get more clicks and get more sessions out of it. That could be another way, and to increase the number of sessions that you're getting. Negative bid by placement. That's one where we have either top of search of first page or product pages. If we go and look at the placement report, or we go look at the bulk sheet, that they also have the placements there, and you see you're performing well on top of search, for certain keywords, but your top of search impression share is low. It's like 5%, 7%, 9%. what you can say is, okay, Amazon, my bid is $1, but I'm willing to spend 50% more if you can show me up on the top of the search first page. I don't want to show them the rest of the search. I don't want to just go from $1 to $1.50 bid, because on the rest of the search I'm performing okay, but in the top of the search I'm performing like way better. Right? My click-through rate is higher, my ROAS is higher, or my ACOS is lower. So I want to show up more on the top of the search. So that will help you also get more sessions and get it more efficiently. So that will also lower the cost per session. Negative search terms. This is strictly to cut down and be more profitable. And this is in the auto and broad and phrase campaigns, where we're obviously targeting keywords. We're trying to find new keywords that we're converting well on, so we can target those as well. But there's going to be a lot of keywords that you're spending money and not converting on, or maybe they're spending a lot of money and getting like a low conversion. So your ACOS is like 100%, 120%. You can negative those, and that will cut down your spend and again lower your cost per session. New profitable search terms. That's another way to get more sessions profitably, right? So let's say keep the same number, same cost per session, but just get more. And that's going into the search term report, identifying unique search terms that are profitable. So let's say you say, okay, 1 to 20% is what I want to do. And you're going to identify keywords with ACOS 1 to 20%, take those out, make sure that they're unique, launch them in their own campaigns. I missed the last one. Sponsor brand display and video. So those are secondary placements. Now, I want to be very, very careful with these ones, because we know that the cost per session will go up a lot if our click to session ratio is not efficient. So if we're showing up, keyword electrolyte powder, you can see my ad. It's regular in the middle of the page. I decide to do a headline search ad. Now there's a probability that people can click on the headline search ad and then go back and then scroll down and then click on me again. So there is a probability. We're increasing that probability. Same with the video and display, whatever. Anything that is different than a sponsor product ad, that means there's a possibility for one unique person to cost us more money. And so that's why we have to be very careful about it. So when I talk about bid optimization, this is the parameters that I'm talking about. So I'll cover each one. Thresholds are basically saying, if the ACOS, like how many clicks do I need to start looking at ACOS, whether it's 0 or not 0. So for anything under 3 clicks, it's just not enough data, so I'm going to ignore it. And then the impression threshold is basically under 300 impressions means it's not getting enough impressions. And then I'll have some criteria. So between 4 to 5 clicks, I'm going to lower by 5 cents. 6 to 9, I'm going to lower by 10 cents. 9 and more, I'm going to lower by 15 cents. And then same with the ACOS schedule. So 0.1 to 15%, I'm going to increase. And you don't have to increase, right? We can go through phases where you're like, okay, all I need to do is cut down. And so you'll only have this portion, right? 31 to 33%, cut it by 3 cents. 34 to 40, cut it by 5 cents. 41 to 55, cut it by 7 cents, and so on. So it depends on what your goal is for the week. If your goal for the week is to increase, launch new campaigns, get more sessions and more visibility, then you can increase, the bids where the ACOS is profitable. But if your main goal is to cut down on the spend to become more profitable, don't do this part, right? and rarely does it ever pay off to do both at the same time, because it's like trying to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. Build muscle, you need more calories. To lose fat, you need to cut calories, and so you're now in like this contradiction. It's the same thing here. And impression limit 300. So basically what I'm saying is anything under 300 impressions, increase the bid by 30 cents, because it's just not getting enough visibility. Placement by bid. So like I said, you can see here, we're running top of search, and someone else also has the headline search ads. So if you're we're running top of search. So if we're showing up on the top of the search and we're converting better in that position, we want to show up more here. And you can do it per campaign. And so this is only on a campaign level. So you're going to have to just go with the results on the campaign level. And then if you're showing up really well on the top of the search, you can double down on it. Adding negative keywords and products. So this is my criteria, right? If it's greater than 75% ACOS in the auto broaden phrase only, if it's greater than 75% ACOS, or spent $10 or more in the last 7 days and made no sales, then I'm going to add it as a negative. It's just not performing well enough. launching profitable search terms. So I'll jump into the search term report. Anything with 1 to 20% ACOS and has 2 orders or more and unique. So I'm not already targeting it. I'm gonna create a campaign and launch those campaigns. Now I talked about the pitfalls of multiple placements. If you're already here, right, in sponsored, and you're already organic, right, and you have headline search and you have video, you're increasing the probability of the same person clicking on multiple ads. And so a lot of times when I notice my click to session ratio is not great, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and say, hey guys, identify all of the organic keywords where we're ranked really high and we have a high sponsor product ranking. And what I'm going to do is I'm one by one going to cut it down. So I'm going to say, okay, this one, maybe the keyword is hydration tablets. I'm going to cut down the sponsored, show up on page 2. So I'm cutting down the bid until I show up to page 2. What happens? Am I still getting the same number of conversions? Did my spend go down and my total sales remain the same? This means that, basically I was going to get the conversion anyway because people are looking at my organic and clicking on it, but I had a paid one. So, some people might accidentally click on the sponsored one, right? Because they don't see the word sponsored or, their thumbs, they just hit the wrong one. So this is something to be aware of. And then obviously if you have headline search and then you have video and you're showing up in all these placements, it's just increasing your probability of spending more money for the same person. So organic levers to pull. Now we're going to talk about the organic. We talked about the paid, and the paid is pretty simple. You're going to look at what you can do. You have your levers. If you want to cut down the spend and reduce your spend per session, you're going to follow different levers that you can pull, which is bid optimization, lower the bids, bid by placement. If you're inefficient somewhere, cut it down, add negative search terms, and then you're going to skip these ones, right? Because you're trying to cut. If you're trying to identify new opportunities that are profitable, you can increase the bids. You can double down on the bid by placement. You're going to skip this. You're going to launch new profitable search terms that you find in the search term report and maybe different placements, right? And so a good question I didn't answer is, so when do we use sponsor brand display and video? And you can use those where you couldn't rank, you couldn't convert efficiently enough with sponsor products advertising. Maybe the keyword was too expensive or something. And so you say, okay, let's cut it down. This is not working. What if we try sponsor display? Or headline search ads or a video, and are we gonna convert better? Maybe because it's it's a nice custom beta image or a nice custom image, that looks really nice. Maybe we're gonna convert better and cheaper there. So those are the times that I would do this. Obviously, protecting your own brand placement is a great way to do it. Now we talk about organic. So the levers that we can pull are: we can identify our current rank, we can target with the PPC, we can get conversions on the keyword, increase rank and monitor, but it's not going to be as easy as search, find, buy. So search, find, buy is really effective because as far as we know, the more conversions you get per keyword, the Amazon will say, okay, this product is very relevant for this keyword because it's converting for that keyword. Let's rank it higher. And so more people can see it and more people can convert because their goal is to make money. So when you do search, find, buy, you're literally telling people, find this keyword and buy it. With PPC, it's not exactly the same because what you're saying is, let's launch a bunch of campaigns for that keyword. So you can do sponsor brand, sponsor video, and regular sponsor products advertising. And the more conversions you get, even if it's not super profitable, the more conversions you get, Amazon saying, okay, well, this keyword is, this product is more relevant for this keyword. Let's increase the rank. So a couple of ways to identify keywords. The first one is the easy one. Data dive, Brandon Young. And so basically you can, choose your product plus your competitors. Choose your product plus your competitors. And then it'll pull all of your keywords and your competitors' keywords. And then it's going to give some conditions like, okay, anything that has 350 searches or more and is relevant to at least 3 of these products, we're going to include them. And so there's about 270 of those keywords with a total of 534,950 searches a month that are 350 searches and are relevant to these 3 keywords. And then what we're going to do is we're going to find these keywords, look at our ranking, and then we can identify and say, okay, this is a really good keyword. Keto electrolyte powder, I'm ranking position 43. my competitors are ranking high for this. There's no reason I shouldn't be ranking high for this. And I'll start targeting it in its own campaigns, even if I'm, not that profitable. Obviously, we'll talk about it in a second, but even if I'm not that profitable, I'm just converting. We can track that rank and see if it goes up. So the other way to do this is if you have Helium 10 and you don't have the data dive. Data dive is built on Helium 10, but you can type in the main keyword in the search, click on the top 10 competitors, run the keyword search in Cerebro. It's going to pop open in Cerebro. We're going to add right here some filters. So I'm going to show 350 searches a month at least, 61 position rank or higher, right? Or lower, I guess, lower number. Because if it's showing up on position 80 or 90 or 120, I don't care, right? It's not that relevant if most people are showing up there. And then ranking competitors. So this means the intersection of competitors ranking for that keyword. So if we have 3 competitors ranking for that keyword, that means a 2 ranking competitor. If we have 4 competitors ranking for that keyword, that means a 3 minimum ranking competitors. And so if I put a 9, basically basically what it means is I want keywords if only 10 out of those 10 competitors are all ranking for that keyword, and it has a search volume of 350 at least, and all of them are ranking higher than position 61. I'm gonna, get those keywords. It goes from like 74,000 keywords, right here, 74,000 keywords to like 50 keywords, something like that, because you're getting like a very highly, targeted and filtered list of keywords, and then you're gonna just add it to your list. You're going to go into keyword tracker. You're going to add a new product, add your ASIN, and then you can just upload that list and start tracking. And then what you want to do is you want to benchmark your ranking. This is the goal, is to see that you started low and you're going up high. You started in 30 to 50, and now you're between 10 to 20, right? And that's the goal, is to start low. Don't do this if you're in position 20 and you want to go to position 10, because it's not going to be a very significant, we don't know, right? Maybe in position 20 you're going to get the same number of clicks as position 10, but if you're in position 80 and you go up to position 15, you can definitely tell, like, if the keyword ranking improved and now you're getting more sales. You can identify that, and that's what we want to do with everything, is like controlled experiments. I'm changing one thing at a time, and I'm saying, okay, by doing this happened, this is a positive result, so I'm going to do more of it. And this is how I benchmark it. So I create a spreadsheet. I download the keywords. I'll sort A to Z, because that will keep as long as I don't add any new keywords in keyword tracker, it'll keep the order. And then I'll have the search volume there just so I can reference it. And then every week I am documenting what's my ranking, my organic ranking. And so I can say, okay, these keywords, I'm really like this keyword, I wasn't moving in it. So I took that keyword, launched it in its campaigns, and finally I started showing up organically. Now I'm at 67. And the goal is to start low, or start like 306 or whatever, and eventually go up. And if you're wondering which keywords should I go for, we talked about this. And so those are keywords that your competitors are ranking really high for, and it's probably an indication that if they're ranking really high for all of those keywords, that they're getting most of their sales from those keywords. And so that's why we're going to use those keywords. And then you can target them one at a time, and you can notice the trend. You can say, okay, we targeted those keywords, and I'm noticing the keyword ranking go up. And as the keyword rank goes up, our hope is that our cost per sessions go down, because now we're getting free sessions. So if you're spending, $2, or let's say you're spending $1,000 getting 50 sessions, and now you have another 50 sessions organically, now your cost of traffic just cut in half because of the organic. So this is going to be an investment where you're going to overspend on that keyword. You're going to put in its own campaign, launch it in broad phrase and exact, big budget, big bid. You just want to notice that, or track the organic rank and see that it's going up. And then once it's up, you say, okay, let's cut it down. And let's cut it down so we can optimize and not spend any more money. And then try and level off that organic ranking. So one of the last things I want to talk about is building the dashboard. And this is the way that you can really see everything very clearly in a 360-degree view of your organic and your paid and your conversion and everything. So you can see here, weekly, I can track my PPC spend and how it's changing and the percent of change. I can track my sales, I can track my overall sales. So if my PPC sales are going up, but my organic sales are not going up, that might be an indication that to something. Maybe I'm just launching PPC campaigns and organic keywords that I was going to get the conversion for. Now there's a sponsored ad. People are clicking on it. They're converting. My overall sales didn't go up. And this actually helped me identify when I was spending money on sponsored video, but the overall sales weren't going up. And we were able to detect that, hey, the sponsored video didn't really add any value. I can look at my sessions. And so I'll talk about this in a second in the situational analysis. But the goal here is if we're spending more money on PPC, we want to see that our sessions go up. And assuming that our conversion rate holds up, then we should convert more. And that's kind of the goal. So is the conversion rate holding up, or is it going down, or is it going up? As I spend money, is my sessions going up or not? I look at my click-through rate. Is my click-through rate harming me? So there's some products where the click-through rate is significantly low, and because of that, we're launching campaigns, and our impressions are going up, and we're not able to get as many people into the listing because it's just not desirable on the front end when looked at against competitors. And this is a great way where you're like, okay, my click-through rate is low. You're going to screenshot yourself with your other competitors, go on to PickFu and say, which one of these products would you click on and why? And then get some feedback. Okay, we're not going to click on yours because it's like black, it looks ugly. Or we're not going to click on yours because it looks cheap, or the price is too low. So this, you can kind of see what's going on. As I spend money on ads, how's my conversion rate? Is it holding up? Is that what's holding me back? How's my click-through rate? Am I able to win the customer right at the search? Then we have, the sale price and Amazon fees and cost of goods. And then we have the profit. The profit is the main metric, the dollar amount in profit, not the total ACOS, not the ACOS, not anything else in the world other than the dollar amount that is going to be transferred from Amazon to your bank account. That is what should guide all of your decisions. And so if we spend more money and our ACOS goes up, but our dollar amount in profit goes up, then we should go more in that direction, right? Because that's the dollars that's going to get transferred. Then we have, a couple of metrics here, which I already covered, the cost per session. And so we can see here, we were at $1.31 and now we're at $3.02 and now we're at $9.78. And so this is an indication that, hey, we started at 1147 in sales and now we're at 1597 sales, and we went from 45 to 230. So why are we just spending all of this PPC money when we didn't get any more total sales? And so you'll very quickly be able to identify that in your cost per session, because that's your cost per traffic. And then the blended cost per acquisition is what we talked about. So what is your cost per session, and then times the number of sessions that you need to convert. So is that number, so this is $5 and we're making, what is that? We're making around like $15 in profit here. Okay, that makes sense. We can make $10 in profit per unit. But if this number was 12 and we have a $15 profit per unit before ads, then we know something is broken. So situational analysis, before we wrap up the last three slides. First one is, you'll notice PPC spend went up, PPC sales went up, overall sales went up a lot. So you can see the difference here is around 9,000. The difference here is 10,000. So this is a case where our goal was to spend more money. So we spent more money to get more sessions. We got more sessions. However, we spent 178% more to get only 32% more sessions. So that's something that's a little bit concerning. We might be overspending on the ads. However, our overall sales did go up. If we look at our conversion rates, our conversion rate stayed fine. Our click-through rate went up. That means good. We're targeting the right ads. However, our profit went down. So this is an indication like, hey, when we spent money, we went in the right direction, but now maybe it's time to cut back and trim off the fat, right? Add the negatives, cut down the bids that are not converting, and maybe this dollar amount will go up because, at 25K, went from 15K to 25K. If we cut down the ads, maybe $4,000, $3,000, we could get, $1,000 more per week in profit. So this is kind of, one of the first situations we noticed. Second situation is, you'll see that the PPC spend didn't move much. The PPC sales, went up a little bit, and then the organic sales went up. And so this is an indication that organic sales, organic ranking is improving. And you'll see that the sessions went up. This could be, due to organic ranking going up. And then when we cut down the PPC spend, we went up on the PPC spend, cut down the PPC spend, the organic rank stayed, and we're getting more organic sales. And you can see here, The traffic is also higher. Conversion rate, we're monitoring that. Click-through rate, monitoring that. A little bit of change, not much. Our profits went up, and we can attribute why the profits went up. It went up because of organic, not because of PPC. And then we have, another one, of these situations where our spend goes up. We look at our PPC sales, they went down. We look at our overall sales, they're up. We spent 87% more on ads, but we only went 3% more on the total sales, 1% more on the sessions. And that this is kind of an indication that the ads that we ran are not effective. So we, created campaigns, almost 87, almost doubled the spend, but we have zero movement in the sessions. The only reason that our profit went up by 1% is because our conversion rate went up. So this is another situation where we can immediately identify, hey, our ads were not effective, and because they're not effective, I need you to cut it down. The increase here in profits was due to the conversion rate. Now, if I actually hadn't ran these ads, I would have saved, I would have made maybe $300 more that week. So that's essentially it. So what's your homework? I want to wrap this up with action items, because talking is amazing and hearing speakers is awesome, but if you don't implement, it means nothing. So let's implement. Use the equation sheet and figure out, your cost per conversion. Figure that out. Figure out what's the metric that you need to focus on. Identify is the issue in your sessions or your PPC spend per session or your conversion rate, or maybe you don't have any issues, right? Maybe everything looks good and you're like, okay, let me scale and spend a lot more money on ads and see how the net profit per unit after ads holds up. And if it's holding up, great, then we continue to sell more. Then next is identify the main keywords that you want to rank for and benchmark your organic rank. Select some keywords. So I would start with no more than 5, ideally 2, right? Because you want to do something that's easy to implement, easy to track. You get a small win, and then you go from there. I would pick something that you're position 80 at least or more, and then from there launch sponsored ads, which is broad, phrase exact, single keyword campaigns, high bids, high budgets, and let them run. And then don't touch them for 7 days. Monitor your organic rank, and then in a couple of weeks, usually it takes about a month for the organic rank to stick. Monitor your organic rank, and you want to see that you're going from position 80 to position 20 or something. And if that happens, and then you start cutting down the PPC and your organic ranking levels off, you should be good, and you should see a lift after that. Build your analytics dashboard, so you can easily kind of see it from here. So build the analytics dashboard, fill in the last 2 weeks, and then look at the trend. What's going on? You spent more money, or you spent less money, or you didn't spend any money? What happened to your sessions? Are your sessions going up? What about your sales? Are your sales going up? Did your conversion rate change? What's the net profit at the end? And this obviously doesn't take into account like returns and reimbursements and that kind of stuff, because we're looking here at the front end of the business, how the business works. That's kind of the main way. Now the back end stuff, that's something else that, that's irrelevant. But that's it. So if you want to hit me up, you can hit me up. This is my MMA nutrition email, but all sends to the same mailbox.